Queen Tulsa, baby. Your favorite shade, your hottest tea, and your headline queen. The Wendy Williams of YouTube, iconic, epic, and always petty when I need to be. Queen Tulsa, I'm the queen of YouTube. I'm the Wendy Williams of YouTube. Treat me right, I'll treat you right. Treat me wrong, I'll treat you wrong. Hit that like, I don't bite. Hit that like, I promise you'll like. Cameras on, baby, I control the stage. Every headline bends when I set the page. Hot topics burn, I deliver with grace. Shady little smirk while I give you faith. From the gossip rooms to the YouTube fight. Turn petty words into sleepless nights. If I say stops here, then it's all through. No one drops tea like I do. I'm the queen of YouTube. I'm the Wendy Williams of YouTube. Treat me right, I'll treat you right. Treat me wrong, I'll treat you wrong. Hit that like, I don't bite. Hit that like, I promise you'll like. Like and subscribe, let the numbers climb. Serving raw truth with a touch of divine. Breaking news, baby, I say it bold. Every word drips, hotter than gold. Discussing cases, I keep receipts. I'm a boss in heels with the fire and heat. You want the tea, I pour it smooth. I'm Queen Tulsa, baby, I set the mood. Sweet on the lips, but sharp when I speak. Petty when I want, but my shade unique. Iconic, epic, I reign supreme. Queen Tulsa, the boss, I'm the headline queen. Don't get it twisted, baby. You came for the gossip, but you stayed for the queen. I don't chase views, views chase me. Now sip that tea, and don't forget to hit that like. Queen Tulsa, I'm the queen of YouTube. I'm the Wendy Williams of YouTube. Treat me right, I'll treat you right. Treat me wrong, I'll treat you wrong. Hit that like, I don't bite. Hit that like, I promise you like. And remember, if I say it stops here, it stops here.
Greetings, royal queens and kings. It's your host, Queen Tulsa, and welcome back to the Queen Tulsa Show. Listen here, we've got a lot to get into on this evening. Whoa. Yes. Okay, let me see why. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into it. Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez and Jay-Z accused of secretly supporting Trump. And then we hashtag Nicki Minaj because we all know Nicki Minaj has been saying her, she's been visiting the White House, and a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, she's going on this rant, this, that, and the third. But let's get into it. In this video, we dive deep into the recent controversy sparked by Nicki Minaj's bold accusations against Jay-Z and Roc Nation's political strategies. Minaj referring to Jay-Z as the Jigga man and calling out Perez as Desirat has ignited a heated debate among fans and critics alike. Her comments suggest that both figures may be engaging in political opportunism, raising questions about their true intentions and the impact on the Black community. As we explore the implications of Minaj's statements, we also examine the ongoing scrutiny surrounding Roc Nation's political dealings and Perez's past legal issues. The reactions from fans have been mixed, with some praising Minaj for her candidness, while others criticize her for being divisive. Join us as we analyze the fallout from this controversy, the potential motivations behind these accusations, and what it means for the future of political engagement in the hip hop community. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and for more insightful commentary on the latest in music and culture. Okay, listen here, I definitely want to thank you all so much for coming out tonight. So, the first video that I did want to bring up is actually going to be, actually not, we're not going to bring anything up. I'm actually going to bring this up And I'm finding everything on Google. All right, so we'll be sharing from Google, and I wanted to share this part with you all. So let me go ahead and pull myself down, and we'll go ahead and share this. Mhm. All right, so what we're going to look at right now is kind of a breakdown of Jay-Z. Okay, we're going to do the, okay, all right, let's see. Okay, it says, as of February the 6th, 2026, Jay-Z Sean Carter has not been arrested. While he has faced significant legal scrutiny and a series of high profile civil allegations, recently, no criminal charges have been filed against him in these matters. So let's see the recent legal context. So it was a civil lawsuit and dismissal 2024 through 2025. In December 2024, Jay-Z was named in a civil lawsuit alongside Sean Diddy Combs, alleging the SA of a 13-year-old girl. In 2000, Jay-Z vehemently denied the idiotic and heinous claims, labeling them a blackmail attempt. So they're saying Jay-Z is saying that this is a blackmail attempt. When he was, added into the civil lawsuit that was dismissed against him and Sean Puffy Combs. All right, so let's get into this. Case withdrawn. The lawsuit was subsequently withdrawn with prejudice in early 2025. After the accuser admitted in recorded conversations that Jay-Z did not assault her and that she had been pressured by her lawyer to sue him. Now let's take a step back. So she had to do a recorded statement. She also said that she was pressured by her lawyer to sue Jay-Z. Mhm. Now, there is some AI misinformation, and we want to cover that. So, following these allegations, AI generated videos and images depicting Jay Z being arrested circulated on social media, often shared by other celebrities like 50 Cent. But these were confirmed to be fake. So, we cannot believe everything that you read online. Okay. So, there is no arrest as of now with Jay Z. And I know he's been arrested in the past, and we're going to get into that. So, his historical arrests, Jay Z's actual past arrest occurred over 2 decades ago. In 1999, he was arrested for assault. He surrendered to police and was arrested for allegedly stabbing record executive Lance on Rivera at a nightclub. He eventually pleaded guilty to second degree assault and was sentenced to 3 years of probation in 2001. So in 2001, he was sentenced to probation. But in 1999, he surrendered to police. Mhm. And was arrested for allegedly stabbing record executive Lance on Rivera at a nightclub. He eventually pleaded guilty to second degree assault and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Just make sure you guys are tapping that like as you come in. All right, let's get into it. So he was sentenced to 3 years of probation in 2001. Well, guess what? 2001, there was a gun possession. He was arrested outside Manhattan's club exit after a loaded handgun was found in a vehicle he was in. He was charged with third degree criminal possession of a weapon. So he went from a knife, allegedly, and then he went to toting the big things. Jesus. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. No? Okay, so that was in 2001. Okay, let's see. So was he like, did this happen in the same year? Let's see. This news article was published April the 17th of 2001 by ABC News, and the time that they have posted is 5:27 p.m. April 13th, Jay-Z was arrested early this morning after a loaded weapon was found in his car outside a New York nightclub, police told the Associated Press. The 31-year-old criminal and undercover police told the AP that they saw an armed man getting into a 2001 Chevrolet Suburban outside Manhattan's club exit. Though they could not identify which of the four men were carrying the pew pew, accompanying Jay-Z were bodyguard Hazima Hewitt, 39, Romero Chambers, 43, and Smith, 28. The car was spotted one block away, and after finding the pew pew in the car, the four passengers were arrested. Their arraignment is scheduled for this afternoon. Jay-Z, who won a Grammy Award for his 1998 Volume 2 Hard Knock Life, is also due in court on Monday to face charges that he stabbed record executive Lance on Rivera in the December 1999 nightclub fight. So he got in trouble the same year he was supposed to get sentenced. Because it just sounds like the case kept being like pushed back, you know. I think it was, I think it's that. All right, so let's get into this. I do want to bring up, so let's go ahead and go to just Google. I want to bring up Desiree Perez because Desiree Perez was actually pardoned um, by Donald Trump, and she works with Roc Nation. And I don't know if you all know, she was just in the news for her daughter, but let's get to this pardon first. All right, so right here. Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez was granted a full pardon by President Trump on January 19th of 2021. Just before leaving office, the pardon addressed a 1994 conviction related to conspiracy to distribute narcotics. The White House cited her, a Wikipedia article notes, as turning her life around, her gainful employment, and her advocacy for criminal justice reform. All right, let's get into it. So, these are some of the key details regarding the pardon. The conviction background: Perez was arrested in 1994, sentenced to 5 years probation, and later served 9 months in prison in 1999 for a parole violation. So, this is another thing. So she was arrested in 1994. She was sentenced to 5 years probation and later served 9 months in prison in 1999 for a parole violation. 1999, um, Diddy was in trouble. Sean Carter, Jay-Z was in trouble. And Miss Perez found herself in trouble. Now let's get into it. Pardon details. The 2021 pardon was a full pardon for the 25-year-old conviction. Role at Roc Nation. As CEO of Roc Nation, she has been heavily involved in philanthropic work and criminal justice reform, notes a Roc Nation biography. Now, the context is she was a part of a final wave of over 140 pardons and communications issued by Trump. Perez expressed gratitude for the pardon, stating it allowed her to close that chapter of her life. Hmm. So she got to close that chapter of her life. But I do want to go over here because I want to bring up, it was some news about her daughter. All right, let's take a look. Based on a recent Based on recent reports from 2025, Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez is involved in a legal dispute with her daughter, Demarie Hadley. Let's get into it. Now, the key details regarding this situation include lawsuit and allegations. In May 2025, Demarie Hadley filed a federal lawsuit against her mother, alleging that Perez used her power and resources to have her involuntarily committed to a psychiatric facility under Florida's Baker's Act. Under false pretenses, claiming she was suicidal and abusing substances. Now, the family conflict here is she alleged that her mother interfered in her marriage, targeted her husband with false accusations of abuse, okay, and tried to drive a wedge between them. Now, Perez's response says Perez has denied these allegations in court filings. In turn, Perez accused her daughter and son in law running a ruthless smear campaign to extort a $10 million settlement, alleging they used fabricated evidence in social media bots. Now we have to get into the contempt motions. Roc Nations has moved to hold Hadley and her husband in contempt for allegedly violating a gag order by discussing the case publicly, including an interview with Tasha K. Now, the support. Social media posts indicate that singer Nicki Minaj has publicly supported Demarie Hadley in this dispute. As of August 2025, the legal battles between the two parties are ongoing. So, guys, if you did not know, Nicki Minaj stood up for this young woman. Now, her mother, let's get into Desiree Perez being an informant. Okay. So, Desiree Perez, CEO of Roc Nation, is a prominent businesswoman. Let's see, and I gotta say allegedly because let me see. Desiree Perez, CEO of Roc Nation, is a prominent businesswoman who co-founded the company and has managed music, film, television, and sports entities. Based on the provided Wikipedia article, there is no information indicating that she was an informant. So I guess that, see, and we got to do this with the AI generated videos and stuff. See, that's why we have to come and fact check. So she there is no information indicating that she was an informant. So that was just a rumor. See how we have to come and fact check. Hmm. Now, get into this because I wonder how Donald Trump feels that, he pardoned her and there's conversation about, things coming in. Do y'all think that Rock Nation is under investigation for maybe anything? I'm just a little curious. I'm not, saying anything, but it's just a little strange. I will do a deep dive on. Okay. So yeah, that always just gets me. I'd be so curious. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. Are you all still able to see the article? All right, good. Yes, you are. So it says, y'all know what to say right there. It says 35, you know what? Deleted article on Jay-Z's Rock Nation CEO, ex-convict Desiree Perez, the shady lady. And this is Shakya, Antigua, and Barbuda. A deleted article on the NY Daily News is resurfacing thanks to the Wayback Machine. An article titled Alex Rodriguez was set to quit baseball until former drug mule and ex-convict Desiree Perez convinced the Yankee slugger to fight MLB over PED suspension. The Wayback Machine shows the article was available until October of 2024 when it mysteriously disappeared. There is no newfound interest in Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, Shady Lady passed. Since a newly filed federal lawsuit against her and Jay-Z's Roc Nation has been making waves worldwide, the federal lawsuit alleges racketeering, illegal wiretapping, and other serious charges. An, ex- an excerpt from the NY Daily News article. Perez was arrested in 1994 for possession of 35 you know what of you know what with intent to distribute and again in 1998 for grand larceny and possession of a firearm. The club manager with close ties to Beyonce and Jay-Z has a lot of power inside rap moguls Rock Nation Sports. Now get into this. Call with 35 you know what. Perez was a 26-year-old mother of young children in 1994 when she was arrested in New York for possession with intent to distribute 35 of you know what, according to court records reviewed by a news outlet. Federal authorities charged she was part of a drug conspiracy stretching from New York to Florida to Puerto Rico. She and co-defendant Amari Lopez faced at least 10 years in prison. Lopez was supposedly one of the least three men to marry Perez since the late 1980s. But Perez cooperated in return for telling the DEA everything and putting herself at substantial risk. As one prosecutor put it, she was sentenced to 30 months in a military style boot camp program in 1995. Many of the records in Perez's case were sealed. Let me go ahead and read that back over. Many of the records in Perez's case were sealed soon after her arrest, but one transcript from a June 11th, 1996 court hearing obtained by a news outlet shows the feds were pleased with their star mole. The defendant has really worked closely with these agents, Assistant U.S. Attorney Lawrence Barf- Bardflit told a judge that day, arguing to keep Perez out of jail. Miami based defense attorney Alan Ross told the judge that his client wore a wire on no less than the 4 or 5 occasions when she's been down there in Puerto Rico. And I think the court knows from its experience that you can't do anything more dangerous than wear a wire and go into an undercover meeting in Puerto Rico with a known violator, one who's sick, suspected of being investigated for a unalivement case down there. So I know we're not talking about Mexico, but I wonder did she have any insight on the Venezuelan president or any, you know what? That's just something to think about. All right, so let's get into it. The transcript describes how a mutual regard and respect developed between Perez and the DEA special agents she worked with to bust Colombians moving, you know what, shipments of 50 to 100, you know what. She has gone the extra mile, said Ross, adding that he believed the defendant was fully rehabilitated. Perez was released that July and placed on 5 years of supervised release. She began working at night spots in Miami Beach and was scheduled to meet her probation officer. One of them, let's see, and was scheduled to meet her probation officer at one of them, Club Onyx, when she skipped town without notice in early August 1997. The fugitive resurfaced 9 months later in Brooklyn, where she was arrested on March the 5th, 1998. Perez was charged with grand larceny, criminal use of drug paraphernalia, and criminal possession of a firearm. Her probation was revoked, and she was sentenced to 9 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. A DEA special agent from the case um, contacted by the news outlet, declined to comment. But lawyer Ross said he was not surprised by Perez's career turnaround. She is a stunning and bright woman, a very smart lady, he said. Perez appears to have been in business with Jay-Z since at least 2002, helping the rapper run his 4040 club in Las Vegas. That year, the club's liquor license application listed Desiree Perez's father, Epifano Gonzalez of the Bronx, as president, director, and 50% stockholder in the club. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, owned the other half. She was ultimately joined there by her current husband, Juan OG Perez, the president of Roc Nation Sports, and another partner in the sports bar chain. Catch me at the X with OG and a Yankee game. I made the Yankee hat more famous than a Yankee can. Jay-Z rapped in his hit Empire State of Mind. By 2003, the Perezes were the operators of the 4040 Club on 25th Street in Manhattan. A trendy name, okay, it says a trendy club name for the exclusive group of players, including Roger Kress, who've achieved the rare feature of hitting 40 home runs and stealing 40 bases in a single season. In 2003, Perez boasted to the news outlet stars like Alex Rodriguez of the Texas Rangers often come by after games in the New York area. Perez soon became one of the most trusted members of Jay-Z's entourage. She is a part of international pop star Rihanna's management team and has been photographed partying with Beyonce. But to make Roc Nation a true empire, the organization needed to expand beyond music. Last year, to great fanfare, Jay-Z formed Roc Nation Sports and began representing pro athletes. Baseball insiders say Perez was an important voice in the business from the beginning. From former Florida Panthers executive Yormark acknowledged the role Perez plays when he left the NHL team and joined Roc Nation Sports in March. I'm honored and humbled to be joining Jay-Z's Roc Nation Sports as president and chief strategy officer. Yermark said, I am thrilled to join an exciting, innovative organization led by Desiree and Juan Perez. Big role in Kano contract. The Big Onesis showdown coincided with Roc Nation's ballyhooed agency launch. While Rodriguez was not an official client, his friend and teammates Robinson Cano was. Desiree Perez played a large role along with Jay-Z and her husband in the negotiations that landed Kano his 240 million contract with the Seattle Mariners. Hopefully, I pronounced that correct. A December 2013 story on a news outlet suggested Seattle general manager Jack Zugenrich spent as much time wooing the Roc Nation principals as he did Kano. We took them down in the locker room to give them a tour of the field, and we had lockers set up for them. There was Felix Hernandez, Robert Cano, Roc Nation president, Juan Perez, Roc Nation's Desiree Perez, Jay-Z, the whole group, Zulgendrick said. It was pretty neat. I mean, it really was. And then we went upstairs and we talked about $240 million. The Rodriguez saga demonstrates how a lack of experience, especially in the areas of collective bargaining, attribution arbitration and anti-doping policies can backfire. His take no prisoners strategy not only led to Roderick Rodriguez's historic suspension, but also the bitter arbitration fight, the animosity of other players, and the loss of more than $20 million in base salary for the 2014 season. They retain all sorts of people to help them out in their battle with MLB. One person involved embro- in the imbroglio said people would sign on with them and then get passed to Juan Perez and finally Desiree. It was like Tinker to Evers to Chance, except you never wanted to take a chance with her. She undermined everything A Rod's people were trying to do to help him. It was a travesty. Roger Quest is now quietly trying to reinvent himself, showing up on college campuses, attending billionaire Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway conference, and declaring his intention to get an MBA, even though he has no undergraduate degree. Perhaps emboldened by the Milwaukee Brewers fans who embrace admitted PED user Ryan Braun or Lance's Armstrong's attempts to rehabilitate his damaged reputation. Rodriguez is contacting friendly media outlets to begin his reinvention tour. One source said, while injuries and age could end Rodriguez's player career, his attack dog approach to the MLB probe has undermined his chances of returning to the game as a broadcaster or executive. A-Rod appears destined to become a baseball para, doomed by his own decision. Doomed by his own bad decisions. Sources told an outlet Rodriguez listens to Desiree Perez and others in Jay-Z's circle because he hopes to become an agent himself, perhaps even joining the hip hop star's fledgling, fledgling agency. That would help explain Rodriguez's decision making process and the choices he made. He was fully aware of the options, one source said. He just chose to follow Desiree. Damon Dash, weary of Jay Z associate and A Rod advisor Desiree Perez. The article is linked by another article referencing the convicted felon and Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, titled Damon Dash, Worry of Jay-Z Association, A Rod Advisor, Desiree Perez, published on 3/11/2015 by the New York Daily News. The New York Daily News article reads, Dash said the story made him hesitate to do business with Jay-Z, given the fact that federal law enforcement has some down on Dash's friends and acquaintances through the years. I read about his affiliation with an informant, that he's in business with certain people. Dash says it's tricky for me to say, but just based on where I'm from, I can have nothing to do with that. There's no more business being done with me and him until I understand the situation. Dash said he needed to have a one on one with JC about the matter. Dash said the feds had been after him for years and had arrested some of his colleagues, including Kareem Biggs Burke, who founded Rockefeller with Dash and Jay Z in 1995. In 2012, Briggs was sentenced to 5 years in prison for conspiring to distribute more than 100 you know what of you know what. My man's in jail. I cried over that, Dash said. Perez, who manages Jay Z's 4040 Club in Manhattan, is a fixture in the rapper's Roc Nation production company. She was a powerful behind the scenes influence on Rodriguez in the summer and fall of 2013 when he launched a wild and unsuccessful effort to escape a long season doping ban. Right, so listen here. That's all we got on that. But I just want to just jump in, give you guys kind of some history. When we are talking about individuals are talking about, oh my gosh, well, Nicki Minaj, she's voting for this person. You have to understand, Jay-Z's right-hand woman was pardoned. Um, Lil Wayne, he got pardoned. Y'all saying Nicki got her green card, she got her gold card, she got it. Beyonce and Jay-Z are friends with somebody that's associated with him. I say this to say that we have artists and celebrities out here, and that's why it's so important for us not to put these people on pedestals and idolize them, because they'll disappoint. They are human just like you and I. So with that being said, I am your host, Queen Tulsa. This was your wrap up for the Rock Nation. Desiree Rock Nation CEO Desiree Perez and Jay-Z accused of secretly supporting Trump. Hashtag Nicki Minaj. That concludes our broadcast. We'll see you on the next one. So long.